I've done this a few times before, but this time's gonna be different. Just kidding, it's gonna be pretty much the same thing. Taking various cartoon characters, turning them into silhouettes, making new images out of those silhouettes. Also, I have a cold, so I might sound a bit terrible. But let's get to it. Okay, first up today is Abe Simpson from The Simpsons, Grandpa Simpson. So I went with this image, kinda complicated. This is a silhouette. That is a crazy shape. Yeah. Let's try and do something. So the one thing I always want to avoid is like just turning the head into another head. Maybe it's like completely different proportions and angle. Could be interesting, but yeah, I probably won't make that a head. Okay, something that's coming to mind here. You can have kind of a big, gigantic nose over here and a little bit of a mouth. And then these are kind of eyes, I guess. That could be funny. Oh, hopefully my mic's working properly. I'm gonna turn this camera off because you don't need to see my face this whole time. Bye. I could do a little bit of this. Now, is it a side profile? Yeah, there doesn't have to be an eye over here. It'd be crazy if this was also an eye. I don't think I'm gonna do that. Instinct is to make this whole thing hair. The hairs on his head. We could make these legs, but they already are legs, so I should not do that. But I think up here we can make his head like a beanie. But I was thinking, it looks kind of like a carrot, so let's do a carrot themed beanie. We have these like divots. Yeah, that might make sense. Or I just go like that. I could make that the bottom of the beanie. And then there's this broccoli haircut. Or I make this also part of the beanie. That makes sense. I gotta figure out the bottom of this. But for now, this can be an ear. Just has kind of lumpy skin. That's fine. This would make a fun hand, but I don't want to just make it a hand. A backpack that's kind of just strapped on like that. I mean, I don't think this guy can really wear a backpack with his anatomy. So it's kind of opened up like that. Then we simply have, it's a bunny rabbit. Okay, I can make this leg on the left a bit of a beard. Just do a little bit more over here, and then it becomes the head. It's not much of a backpack, it's a back of the head pack. Does that make sense beard-wise? Maybe. But then, like, what's going on down here? I'm gonna make just this one, his whole body. Alright, this is a huge neck. And then he's just kneeling down over here. Kind of worm-like. The last piece of the puzzle. There are craters in the ground. And then there's just a bunch of freaking steam coming out. And then I'll probably draw a few more, like, around the place. Okay, that's the finished sketch. Now cut to the render that I spent far longer making. Quite the scene I've put together. Well, let's see what we have in store for the second one. Yep, it's your favorite Pokemon Charizard. For some of you that will be true. I think he's pretty cool. Anyway, the silhouette is very all over the place. That is a complex shape. These wings make you want to just draw a big bat in the middle, but I'm not gonna do that. What I do want is to make this thing a cat. I immediately saw this as kind of cat ears and cat legs. Let's see if that works out. So this can kind of just flow into this. All right, it's a good cat face. I'm trying to figure out the angle on these legs. Like, what am I doing? That's a buff arm with the vein. I'll just leave it like that. I was thinking of making this whole thing a volcano, and then this can be like blasting off. Just get this volcano shape. It's an indented volcano. I'll have some big like globs. Kind of lava and blast off lines. Maybe I get rid of this and make these things some kind of foreground. Kind of crazy rocks. I don't think that makes any sense with these claws. So maybe it's a creature. Got an eyeball looking this way. So we can do another one over here. So he's like, oh! And there's just a giant boulder in the background. I haven't even begun the wings or arms, but this fire over here. I suppose I shouldn't make it fire. It would make perfect sense with the volcano theme, but a classic tree. Borrowing an idea from my Bluey rendition, make this some kind of like dirt track. It's a very interesting tree shape. It's coming along. The thing is, I could extend these and make them big mountains, but then maybe, I think that's just not really using the silhouette. Could this be debris from the eruption? Yeah, I don't think that would work. It could kind of just be a dinosaur. I don't know if that's too close to what Charizard already was. I'm gonna go back to the debris idea. It's gonna be a bit of a stretch, but oh well. Just a big rock on the side. I think I can get away with that. I'll just do the same on the other side. It's not bad. Let's have some various rocks. Alright, just gotta deal with the wings. Kind of fudging it a little bit. But we could have like boulders or hills with these shapes and with the negative space. And then we also have mountains behind. The weirdest shape up top. This is gonna be like rocks as well. The ground is kind of, yeah, it aligns with the end of the wings. Aside from this part. I'll probably draw some like bigger background mountains as well. They're very faded away. Yeah, I think I'm done. Man, there's a lot going on here. Quite the leap in scenery from a picture of Charizard. Alright, let's move on to number 3. Next up is Mojo Jojo. Powerpuff Girls fans will recognize this monkey. I was tossing up between this picture and this one. This one's cleaner. Kind of more interesting as an image, but I think this one is more interesting as a silhouette. So that's what that is. So I'm going to be working with this. The other one is this, so drop a comment if you think I've made the wrong choice. But I kind of want to make this a tombstone. We can put a little bit of like flowers in front of it, or it's just a big clumps of dirt. I was thinking down here, this is clearly like one of those Christmas looking trees. I'm not going to make this Christmas themed, I don't think. So this is the trunk. I can make this another branch like that. I want this thing on the right to actually be a bird, because it's just such an obvious beak right there. Kind of Twitter looking right now. I mean, that is well, either it's way in the foreground or that's a giant bird, because that's a tree. So I want this to be kind of coherent, not just a bunch of things in one frame. Okay, I'm gonna rethink this grave situation, because what if this is just a big guy in the background? And I hate to make this a shell, because I've done that quite a lot. But we have a mouth over here, right? And this can either be a nose, or a big eyeball, or this is a mouth. This is a big goatee. And I mean, I guess the hands can be feet. That's transformative. Yeah, I like the upper part being the mouth. I want to make this beard make sense. That'll do. I kind of have to make a straight edge on the bottom, because that's the silhouette. I think what would be fun is, this is like a glass dome with something inside it. Maybe just a fish. And then this is a horn. Just gonna separate the head a little bit. This can just be a really messed up talon, I don't know. There may be a little bit of like that. So we'll just do the same thing over here. He has very disproportionate limbs. A couple of other small fish. Bro, actually, what if it's just a shark? They've invented a new fish. I doubt there's a fish that looks like that. It needs a cheeky grin. I can do anything with this shape because it's just inside the silhouette. I could add teeth over here, but I think maybe just sticking to the silhouette. Like, this is pretty perfectly nothing outside of it. But I'll draw a background as well. Okay, sketch complete. I think that's a rather unique image. Pretty cool. Let's move on to the fourth and final cartoon. And here we have Pearl from SpongeBob SquarePants, Mr. Krabs' daughter. A lesser talked about character, I think. She has a crazy head shape. So I found this PNG, one of those fake transparent ones with the checkers in the background. That was kind of annoying to remove, but here's the silhouette, and let's try and do something with it. For some reason, I think these look kind of like megaphones, but tiny. And I wanted to have them like spraying out something that makes this shape. There's no way physically that would work, because it's like just going in a straight line then expanding. But I could have the opening visible like this. Kind of sells the idea. This is such a stretch. It's going to be more apparent what's happening in the render. Haven't thought much beyond this point. Maybe it's hitting something and flattening out. I mean, this could be a gas. I was thinking of it as a liquid, but... And then there's an object here, which I have not figured out yet. This might be one of the more abstract ones. So yeah, I'm compelled to complete that circle. Alright, this is going to be just some big metal contraption. I don't know if I can make that fan blades. Just a hunk of metal, I don't know what's happening there. So we just put in some like panels and whatnot. And then it might look like something's happening. Alright, I want to make this some kind of animal or some kind of fictitious creature kind of just sitting on top of this machine. Maybe we have some shoes down here. Maybe it should extend all the way like that. Now if I just make this all a head, it's basically just pearl, so I won't do that. That makes me think maybe this whole shape can be like a giant gun. Giant freaking bazooka. I gotta work out how to work the arms into it, because this guy's like holding it. Right, we just have this huge opening. Okay, I can have an arm reaching up over here. So this is still part of the gun. Then maybe we chop it off here. I don't know why there'd be flames out the back, but that'd be kind of cool. This is actually not bad. Okay, so that's fire. Just do some little bits to make it look more metallic. Let me just redo this face. Okay, here it is. Extraordinary. This is not where I thought this was going to go, but you never do know with these things. Very experimental down the bottom. There's kind of a cohesive story up top. It's just a guy holding a big gun. Kind of steampunk. Yeah, that probably went pretty well. Well, that's 4 cartoon characters turned into 4 completely new creations. Hope you liked them. If you don't, that's okay too. Don't forget to drink water. I'll see you next video.